Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Let's look at day trading levels. You can see Bitcoin came from the buy zone here yesterday in the green line to the sell zone. Nice pump here. It was here around 9:05 a.m. and then it pumped almost 9%, went to 102K, and then it dumped from there. A dump happened, came below the neutral white line around 5%. Now it's hanging in the neutral zone here. Ethereum, you can see same thing, buy zone pump to neutral zone and then to the sell zone and then came back to the buy zone, and right now here all the indices are also kind of hovering around neutral zone right now. You can see it pump from the buy zone. S&P 500 came to neutral zone. Nasdaq also very similar, buy zone to the neutral zone. So let's see how things are going in a long-term perspective. So while I'm doing this, please hit the like button, guys. Only takes 1 second to hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. And you can see here US 500 is right now in the middle. I'm looking for RSI, keeping an eye on this, either to go to red line area to short or green to buy. And if you're a bull, you can see it can still go from here to the top red line, which is around 63.70 on US 500, around 6% pump possible. And if you're a bear, it can go around 7 or 8% down below 5500. So we'll see where it goes. We'll keep an eye on this in the long term, and then I will let you guys know how things are looking. This is cycle chart of SPX. You can see we were looking for a decline. This is a declining phase from here, which is end of January to mid of Feb. So we are getting the decline. We had a gap down yesterday, so we could get a short-term gap, like a pump here to fill this gap, and then this could still resume the decline. That's also possible, or we can just go lower. So just keep that in mind, okay? And in terms of SPY, here is SPY pre-market doing nothing much, flat pre-market, so they're just here hanging above all moving averages, trying its best. So it can still pump, fill this gap, and then it will decide whether it's going to go down to fill this bottom gap. You can see this big gap here. They could reject and fill this gap, or they can go higher. And in terms of NDX, Nasdaq, same thing here. There's a gap on the top. They might want to fill that gap and then come back down. And also there's this election gap, which is also due to fill. I don't know when it's going to be filled. So we'll see how this thing shapes up. Dow Jones also was weak, but again, multiple gaps are here. So I do think Dow Jones eventually will come back down. This is a big gap here. They might want to fill that gap. IWM was also very weak yesterday. And again, there's also a gap here. So you can see it can try to pump fill this gap and then come back down as well. So just keep that in mind. Bitcoin, okay. So Bitcoin came back to this area. You can see here, this is the yellow area where it usually bounces. So came back here and a wick here. As soon as it came here in this area, nice bounce. You can see this is multiple times it comes back to this yellow area, and every time it touch here, we get a spike bounce on top. Okay, so good news is right now it's above this moving average, which is yellow and red line, which is 50 daily moving average. So we'll see if it can hold. And if BTC futures, all the gaps are filled to the top side. So we'll see how things are coming. There's some news coming from China, so we don't know how it's going to come out. But there's this big gap, which is I don't know when it's going to be filled. But this is like really bothering me. So we'll see when that happens. Ethereum also, after a crash of almost 40% couple of days, now had a nice reversal, but again it's below all moving averages, and now this 200 EMA became resistance. This gap is still not filled, 2236, so they might want to fill that gap. Also, it was a gap down on futures, so there's also a gap around 3279. So a gap up and a gap down. Let's see which one is filled first. In terms of oil, oil is weaker. We got a sell. Now you can see it broke below this red line, above below all the moving averages, just held here for a while, maybe flag it, now going down. Now it's coming back to this demand zone. So the lower it goes, the better it gets. Could be a nice buying opportunity. So we'll see how low it goes and whether reversal can happen. CNQ also made a new low with divergence, new low made with higher high on RSI, higher high on PPO. We just got to be patient on this. Multiple gaps on the top, so we'll see if and when these all will be filled. We just need to wait for the right time. And let's just keep moving to Hang Seng Index. China is looking very good above all moving averages price. They are now also imposing 15% tariff on US. So there's a trade war now, and this is like it came to these blue lines, 200 EMA SMA now bouncing. Gave a back test a couple of days ago on this moving average and now going higher. So there's a gap around 21 to 85. They want to fill that gap, looks like. Bond market is a bit weak now. Yesterday was nice, but then it rejected. Tariff was lifted on US and Mexico, and now it's going down. And TLT had a nice 0.46% move, and now maybe it wants to go down, fill some of these gaps which were created before. So keep that in mind. Toronto Stock Exchange also was very weak, but then recovered. There's a gap. They might want to fill that and then come back down later as well. Natural gas was huge, massive gap up, and they're trying to fill that gap today. You can see gap up almost 10% up yesterday. Now trying to fill that gap. Still looking for some weakness into February, mid-February, and then a pump, and then weakness into March as well. So keep that in mind. Gold is looking super bullish. New highs with divergence on RSI and PPO. Let's see, it's by the dip now. Big gap here. They will fill at some point. Silver also little behind gold, but silver can catch up very soon. Copper also trying its best to close above this 200 moving average. Sugar also trying to make a right shoulder and then it's going to break out. Wheat in front of some heavy resistance on this 200 EMA SMA, not able to close above that. Corn by the dip, you can see yesterday also touched white line and now just bouncing. Dollar also looking very strong. Yesterday, nice rally, but then after releasing tariffs, it gave everything bad. Now again trying to rally. In terms of stocks, Apple tried to rally, but then it got rejected again. There are a couple of gaps here, and it had a gap down too. So in the short term, it could go rally, fill this gap, and then come back down. If not, then it's going to probably come back to this 200 EMA SMA and sit here, and then it can bounce from here as well. So keep that in mind. NVDA very weak, below 200 moving average. Again, news coming from China. They're going to probe into Google and NVIDIA. So China is also not liking US stocks. So let's see if it's going to hold here or it's going to break down. A breakdown here will be very bearish and it could come to 86. To be honest, there's a nice support here if this breaks down. What else is here? Tesla was down 5%, gap down. So maybe they want to fill that gap before going higher. And then Microsoft. Microsoft was also down below all moving averages, but this is where I think a nice support is here. Every time it comes here, there's some nice support, so maybe it will pump from here short term. We'll see how it comes out. What else? Uh, Celestica was little down yesterday, now giving back up 2%. They're trying to fill this gap. And AMD, I think earnings tomorrow. So AMD actually today earnings end of day, so we'll see how it goes. Some divergences are building new lows with divergence, but it has the 7 billion revenue. That's I think insane. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see if it can do that. That will be a nice move up. So we'll see how things shape up for AMD tonight. Okay, guys, that's it for today, and let's look at VIX. VIX giving back this gap which was created yesterday, trying to fill that gap. Um, and then we'll see if it fills, then market will pump, and then if market crash, it's going to fill this top gap and bottom gap. So right now in the middle, we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys, if there's anything else, let me know. Put a comment, and if you like to know these levels, which I share with my subscribers, buy and sell levels, will keep you in the right side of the trade. Like for example, Microsoft was in the buy zone, so I bought end of day, and you can see it's already up 0.14%, not a lot, but usually these are good trades and these levels are pretty good to keep you on the right track. Subscribe and let me know your user ID on the comment, and I will add you to members only group where I share these levels with all the members. Okay guys, have a good one. Bye.